Larry Klayman is a lawyer, founder of Judicial Watch and now Freedom Watch. He ran for Senate as a Republican back in 2004, went to Duke for undergraduate, law degree from Emory University, and worked in the DOJ as a prosecutor, was on the team that succeeded in breaking up the telephone monopoly of AT&T. That's interesting because we were just now talking about the monopoly that doctors have because of the AMA artificially limiting the supply of doctors. One of the least regulated industries is the telecommunications industry. It's why we're seeing so many innovations. Anyway, Larry speaks 4 languages, English, French, Italian, and Spanish, and has recently been writing about his assertion that the FBI engaged in systematic illegal surveillance on prominent Americans, including the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, other justices, as well as prominent business people like Donald Trump. Please welcome to the program Larry Klayman. Larry, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Larry.
Larry, did someone engage in systematic illegal surveillance of Donald Trump?
They did. And as you can find on our website at freedomwatchusa.org, and as you know, Larry, because you have a copy of some of the things that we've been disseminating, a whistleblower came to me by the name of Dennis Montgomery. He was an NSA CIA contractor. He developed this facial recognition software for the gambling casinos in Las Vegas. And after 9/11, to get the long story short, the CIA, NSA, and Director of National Intelligence found out about this. They came out and signed a contract with Intrepid that he was working for, and he developed a software that could disencrypt video messages that were being played on Al Jazeera by Osama bin Laden. He became, in effect, the franchise of the NSA, CIA, and Director of National Intelligence. He worked closely with James Clapper, the former DIA director under Obama, who lied to Congress about there not being mass surveillance, and John Brennan, the CIA director. And to get to the point, Dennis, I got him immunity to come forward to the FBI with the help of federal judge Royce Lamberth here in Washington, D.C., and he produced 47 hard drives of over 600 million pages of information. He later gave testimony under oath for about 3 hours, and Dennis can tell you he's got, obviously, to talk to people with security clearances to get into classified stuff. But yes, Donald Trump was among the prominent businessmen that were surveyed, along with the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, other justices, 156 judges, and even yours truly when I lived in Miami. They got my stuff. Anybody that they considered to be an advocate, an activist, anybody that could be a, quote, threat to the administration was surveyed.
I'm talking to Larry Klayman of Freedom Watch. These are major assertions that you're making, Larry. Let's back up. Donald Trump said that Barack Obama ordered a wiretap on him. Did Barack Obama order a wiretap on Donald Trump or anybody, Larry Klayman?
I believe the evidence will show that based on all the information. You know, you're a lawyer too, Larry. You're a fine lawyer. You put together circumstantial evidence that this illegal surveillance of prominent Americans was being conducted under the authority and auspices of the CIA and NSA when James Clapper was the Director of National Intelligence. That's Obama's guy. And John Brennan, the former director of the CIA, and it likely will lead back to Obama. You can't do that kind of stuff without the president knowing about it.
Now Larry, I want to be specific. Donald Trump said that Obama ordered a wiretap. You even have Trey Gowdy saying things like the president cannot order a wiretap. Someone can apply for a warrant from a FISA court, but you cannot order the president cannot order a wiretap. Are you telling me that Trey Gowdy is wrong?
What I'm telling you is that Trey Gowdy knows the way it's supposed to work, and I think I know, and I've had 40 years of an experience in Washington, D.C., fighting in the trenches the way it really works. Larry, there is a documented history of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court judges finding that the NSA, CIA, and Director of National Intelligence have lied to it about their surveillance. I got 2 preliminary injunctions, as you know, back in 2013, 2014, against the NSA and against Obama and other government defendants, as the Justice Department called them, who were doing the illegal surveillance that Edward Snowden revealed. And that gave rise, because the judge made a finding, that this was almost Orwellian. It was a violation of the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, and this gave rise to the USA Freedom Act, which now allows telephonic metadata to stay in the hands of telephone companies. To get to the point is that these agencies have never followed the law. They routinely violate it. They're a force higher than the President of the United States. They have the potential to coerce and blackmail individuals that they survey. And the reality is that Trey Gowdy can say whatever he wants. He's part of the establishment. But other people, such as Dennis Montgomery, knows exactly the way it works. And therefore, I have asked these intelligence committees, who probably also know what's been happening, and that may be one reason why they haven't pushed too hard, unless it's dealing with, Trump's allegations, is that this has been going on with the intelligence agencies for years. I have a very good friend out in Los Angeles, David Marconi, who's a Hollywood writer who wrote Enemy of the State. David saw this and wrote the movie for Gene Hackman. He was the principal actor years before it happened. It's a reality. And Trey Gowdy, frankly, I think he does some good stuff, and he's a good questioner, but Trey Gowdy really doesn't know how it works, and he's swallowing the Kool-Aid of the establishment of Washington, D.C.
My guest has been Larry Klayman. Larry Klayman is founder of Freedom Watch. And Larry, you certainly are right. James Clapper, the National Intelligence Director, did lie under oath when asked whether or not there was this kind of metadata being taken place. And he came back and he said he gave, quote, the least untruthful answer he could give, close quote. So a lot of people are lying to a lot of people, and that's why most Americans are completely confused as to exactly what's going on. Real quick, we only have a few seconds left. One more time, are you saying President Obama ordered the wiretap of Donald Trump?
I'm saying if you look at all the evidence and what Dennis Montgomery, he wants to testify at the House Intel Committee,
right,
at the Senate Intel Committee, he can put it together to if you follow all the dots.
Okay, Larry Klayman, Freedom Watch. Thanks, Larry.